Building downtown. Building downtown. Building downtown.
Hey, yo, it's the Building Downtown. Don't forget to follow us on social media at the Building DT. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm your host, Jason Kelly. You can follow me at JKellyMMA. You can follow my co-host, Amy Barton, at Ames Bell, and my other co-host, Kirill Kasatskiy, at Apostle Raps. Continuing on with the KOTD Grand Prix 2020, we've talked to some battlers. We've talked to some captains. We even talked to a guy who's not part of it, but one of the best judges of all time, nameless. And tonight we got a different direction. We get to look at a different side of things. If you've been banned from the KOT Talkback Forum, there's a good chance this is the guy you can blame it on. King Fly, a.k.a. Troy Daniels. How's it going tonight, Troy?
Hey, what's up, man? First off, did you remember to press record this time?
Fuck off!
Thank you. Dude, thank you. Thank
Right
you.
before
I want to get that out there before we get 20 minutes in.
It's fucking
He's
nice,
been
dude.
listening.
You start our calls with me going, you fucking press record or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I'm not missing that one again. That was brutal. I felt like such a jackass. I don't know if I've ever made that mistake in like the 9 years I've been doing podcasts. But you take care of some tech shit. So what kind of mistakes have you made? I'm sure you're not perfect.
I've done the exact same thing when I used to do an internet radio show. I actually interviewed Persia from New York, and she was on the Right Rapper Show.
Yeah.
And totally had a 2-hour interview with her and didn't hit record. Realized it when it was done.
What happened? Was she cool about it? Did you do it again?
I didn't do it again. I couldn't, especially after 2 hours. I couldn't bring myself to be like, yeah. Good thing I wasn't really known and she wasn't really looking for it. So
what'd you tell her?
It didn't even happen.
Did you just tell her you forgot to press record?
I don't think we ever talked after the interview. So I didn't have to say anything.
See, we didn't have that option because it was direct, and so we knew he was coming back on, and we knew he was listening. So it was like we didn't have that luxury.
No shit. Well, the one question, Troy, I think everyone wants to know, and I don't know where else to begin but you, because I know the battlers can't answer it, and I know D-Rex not the guy to ask about it. When and if will we ever be able to watch these battles again?
You will. I just can't tell you when, where, or how.
Okay.
It's being worked on.
Okay.
It's just something we can't do. It's something we can't do at the moment.
Okay. All right. And
it's being worked on. It will be somewhere. It probably won't even be till the end of it will be like the end of the tournament. I'm guessing.
So we're gonna get for Christmas, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Because the tournament ends at the end of the year. But right now, as you see, as each week goes on, there's still so much to do. We're still booking other battles, and then you have unfortunate people that have to drop out, and then we've got to book that, and it's a lot of work. It continues every week, and then you've got the Ruin Your Day guys that as soon as the event's over, they don't have time to edit or anything because they're on the road driving to the next destination right now.
Yeah, jump in, Krill. You were going to say something there?
I was going to say, you're not even going to tell us if it's being put together as a special, or if it's going to be a pay-per-view thing, or if it's going to be a...
I honestly don't know. I'm not involved in that aspect of it, so I don't have an answer.
It's been a thing. Sorry, Krill.
Them again. I was just saying we've been dying to see some of them again. You know what I mean? And there's no way. There's so many questions, right? And so many things you want to rewatch.
Me, I get that question and comment
80 times a day.
30 times an hour.
No shit.
And same with organic, we were talking about it, and same thing with him. He showed me his mentions, and all it is, yo, where can I see the battle? Where can I pay to buy the battle? I want to pay for it? Blah, blah, blah. It's we're working on something. That's really all we can say. And it'll be out when it comes out. Sorry.
I mean, you know what? Post that shit, tweet that shit, pin both posts to the top, and let it go. Quit answering 30 times an hour, man.
Yeah, it's no secret either in battle rap. Promotions have been moving away from YouTube for the past while. So is it safe to say they're not going to be up on YouTube?
I mean, they might eventually, but it's YouTube came out with that big mass demonetization, and anything hip hop gets hit hard. There's more yellow little dollar signs than there is green ones.
Okay.
And when you get that yellow dollar sign on YouTube, that means no money.
Oh shit. So what is that? Because is it the swearing, the content? Like what were some of the specifics?
Basically they only want to put the high paying ads and stuff
Child
on any content that is family friendly. So for everybody.
So that's
I mean,
Go ahead.
Lush's intros deny half of that right there.
No
you know what I
shit.
mean? Like an intro, as soon as you swear, that's as soon as YouTube watches it, okay, well, that's not family friendly.
Shit, eh? So they came down hard
So-
on him.
That's why you see like all the battle leagues. That's why you see everybody trying to move away from YouTube.
Mhm.
Yo, you know what though? Like not even monetization alone, even just subscribing. You can't even subscribe to a lot of channels now that are not like in the basket of family entertainment if they have not like made their agreement with YouTube that is their content. I follow tons of accounts, or you can subscribe, but you can't do notifications. And like it's just those little teeny things that chip away at the people that have been there forever that are going, okay, well, let's talk about caffeine, let's talk about Twitch, let's talk about anything but this.
Yeah, and Troy,
Yeah,
what's your role with this Grand Prix? Like, what things are you taking care of behind the scenes? Because we can see what the captains do, we can see what the battlers do, we can see what the hosts do, but to make it clear for people, because I have somewhat of an understanding, but instead of trying talk on it like I know exactly what it is, I'd rather you explain it, and I think that'll help a lot of people too.
For the Grand Prix, I'm pretty much the Twitch community. I'm modding, and I got a couple other mods with me. Shout out to Copacetic and Baz. And we mod every stream that we have, and it's just constant contact with the Twitch people and changing the emote, like little mundane things like changing the emotes each week to represent which each battlers are in the tournament, things like that, and trying to figure out more ideas and help make the Grand Prix better, figure out how we can do like the better judging, like where we had figured out how we could do a poll in chat just for subscribers to bring the battler back. Just little discoveries and like little stuff like that, running the chat pretty much every stream we have to do.
The main
And
things that
that's,
happen, and then you say it's all the little stuff.
But it's just like, it is like a bunch of little stuff, you know what I mean? Like every week to make like 25 emotes. Yeah, sure, it takes like 5 hours, but to me, that's like, it's little stuff, right? That,
Yeah, but
just
you're
little
being
things that need to get done.
and you said you're being involved in polls of who's coming back. You said you're being involved in the judging, creating of the judging system, right? So you're being involved in big things.
Well, just not creating it, just helping like, okay, we can do this with this, with this technology we have, we can bring them online, you know what I mean? Because that was one of the things we were trying to figure out on Twitch. Is there a way that we can do this? Between me and Avo, we figured out a way that we can bring it on. Like that's the way it's been since the beginning, since like I kind of created the King of the Dot pay-per-view system that we used to use. And it was me and Avo going through trial and error with each other. Okay, this works for this. And then he'd say, okay, we can do this. And I'd say, okay, well, let's try this. No, that didn't work. And, over the years, all the kinks got worked out.
How did you create that pay-per-view system? That's something I definitely wanted to get into during this conversation, because that is such a neat thing to me.
At first, I was dead set against doing a pay-per-view. I thought it was going to kill the YouTube numbers. I didn't think people would buy it. I was dead set against this. This was like, I want to say 2010, 2011. And then Poison Pen put on the first live pay-per-view with Follow the Leader. That was one event that he did. And it was I'm pretty sure it was the first pay-per-view, and it was him breaking away from Grind Time at the time. And that's why he had like Follow the Leader and stuff. So he did that pay-per-view, and I seen, okay, that was good. And then there was a dude named Laxon. Rest in peace to Laxon, because he's passed. But he's the one who convinced Organic to do the pay-per-view, and he basically said he'd do all the setup and everything for it. So we partnered up with Ustream at the time, and they were just coming on board to live streaming, and they were just testing out a new pay-per-view system. So we partnered up with them, but it cost us 50% of our pay-per-view. So we partnered up with them, did the pay-per-view anyway.
50, 50, 50?
50%.
No,
so
get fucked.
half of what we made, Ustream got half of it for nothing, right? So we used them for like 2 or 3 events, and I just kept saying to myself, like, yo, man, we're getting, like, why are these guys getting half of our money? Like, this is dumb. So basically, I just looked into it, and what I did is I built the King of the KOTD TV, and I just figured out how we could embed the video and put it behind the paywall, still use Ustream, but just not show it on Ustream. And then there was an option where we could have it on Ustream to only play on a certain website that we want. So we directed it to only play on King of the Dot, and boom, then we got 100% of the money.
Huh. Wow, that's smart. Holy shit.
And then Ustream stopped doing it. Like they ended up stopped doing their like whole, because it was just their beta thing, right? And they had some big event. I forget what it was. It was a soccer event or something like that. And their servers crashed, and they had to refund a whole bunch of people. So that was their last event.
Holy shit. No, that's
and
smart
then they
thinking.
got bought out by like IBM and shit like that now.
And you said you were working with Avo, side by side now and side by side then. So has a lot of this through the pay-per-view stuff up to the Twitch stuff now? Have you been working with closely with Avo for you guys to produce the product?
All the time. Like he's the one that does like the pay-per-view on-site stuff, and then I'm the guy that takes that video wherever he's connected to and streaming, and making sure it was on the website and handling all the website back-end stuff and all the problems on the website or the server. And so and like even now, like when he's doing the Twitch stuff, I handle all the polls and stuff for the voting. So when you see a poll vote pop up on the video, that's me manually like controlling it, putting it in, pressing a button, and then when it's done, I hit up Avo, tell him the numbers, and he quickly makes up the graphic, and that's how we get the communication going through with the whole event. We're always in constant communication.
Holy shit. So what was the first pay-per-view event?
Ours was Blackout 2. We had 14, I think we had 12 or 14 battles, and we did the first 4 of them free. So it was our first live pay-per-view, and we had the first 4 free for everybody to draw in the audience, and then change it to a pay-per-view.
And I know, speaking organic in the past, at the beginning, some of the business model he replicated from Pride and UFC stuff. So with that, I mean, that's still to this day UFC model. It's like prelims are free, then you get the pay-per-view. So with that in mind, did you have something that you copied from that idea as well, or got inspired from that business model?
I think that's what he did with that first pay-per-view, and but then there was something happened that in order to change it, we had to disconnect or say, so it wasn't feasible for the audio video team to do every time we wanted to do a pay-per-view, because it caused issues. And at that time we were using like TriCasters, and we were renting equipment. It was just a pain. We were learning it on the go. Like Avo basically created his whole, what he uses. Him and Jeff built custom like boards and everything strictly just for Battle Rap pay-per-views.
Okay. Like
he's got custom equipment built for this stuff where he can switch cameras at a touch, and it's crazy.
Shit.
So to back up a little bit here, you talked about, you thought when you were starting the pay-per-view thing that it would never really be a thing for Battle Rap, and obviously you were dead ass wrong.
Was I ever?
In a good way.
Wouldn't be my first or last.
Hey, that's the kind of wrong you want to be, though. So, but moving forward, can you give us any insight on what that looks like? Like, is there a Twitch relationship beyond the Grand Prix? I mean, what's going to happen after the end of the year?
It's being discussed. Things are being discussed. as long as the support's there and the viewers come, I'm sure it's going to continue. We do have a couple ideas and big plans coming. Like, if we have the support, which so far we have in 5 weeks, it's been amazing. Like, we're doing great. Twitch is very happy with the partnership and the way it's going. And you can see, like, every week for the face-offs now too, we're even on the front page and the front carousel. They're promoting us for that. So I mean, you never know
what the highest like viewership while it's live has been, like the numbers. I've seen a few numbers in the last few weeks, but I assume that like most recent event is probably the highest.
Caesar, what we get is a bunch of casual viewers coming through on Twitch because of the promotion on the front page and stuff like that. So it all depends on when, what else is going on at the time. Last week, there was 2 huge events going on. There was like hip hop and End Racism, which their live video got like 1 million views on it, 1 million live views. So last week was okay. We held up there. It's usually averaging around 200,000 200,000 unique viewers.
Nice.
Now, it doesn't tell us how long those viewers stay. So we have no idea if they come for 5 seconds or if they're watching 5 minutes. The number that you actually see on Twitch is the peak concurrent viewers. So far we've hit 35,000 as our peak.
Wow.
That's our biggest peak at once.
How do the numbers compare to the pay-per-view numbers? Much bigger over here?
Oh, like way better.
Yeah, I figured.
you gotta think too. Nobody has to pay on Twitch.
Yep.
Like, hey, you can subscribe and support King of the Dot, and we appreciate it. And all the money is going to be going towards the Grand Prix and stuff like that. But you can just go there and watch it for free. You don't even need a Twitch account.
I know.
You can
just go to the link.
Go
and
on the
play.
homepage. You can go on the homepage and press play from the carousel and watch right there.
Yep. No shit. But you should sign up and you should subscribe to the KOTD channel.
Definitely get to unlock the emotes. You get to chat because there's so many people that come in now. We make our chat subscriber only during the battles, and even then it still goes so fast because we have to try to mod that because we're on the front page and we're on the recommended and stuff like that. We have to be very vigilant in our chat for any type of bullying, harassment, racism, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So wait, I was
And
talking about this recently.
There's always Twitch staff that drop in and out to watch the battles and to check out chat and stuff like that.
Does the chat depend on like the number of viewers and the battle, or what I mean is like I've noticed most of the time it's subscriber only, but actually sometimes it's just slow mode. So like, is that we forgot to switch it over, or is that we're not
depending on it's me? Yeah, sorry to cut you off. It's me manually switching it when I see like, okay, the subs aren't really saying anything anymore. We need some more action in here. So then I'll take off subscriber mode and turn it down to slow mode.
A lot of people.
It all depends on the viewership, right? If once we start getting over a couple thousand people viewing it, then I usually turn it to sub mode only, because you get a bunch of trolls in there too, especially on Twitch.
Oh fuck! I can only imagine. A lot of people thought too, including Krill and I, with the subscription you get to rewatch the battles. Obviously, we were incorrect about that, but I didn't come, crying to you and talk back. It's just like, well, we fucked up. What is the difference between the tiers of the subscriptions?
Right now, we're working out other things for tier 2s and 3s. Like there's going to be contests for tier 2s and 3s only. There's going to be play on our video game night with Eddie I, Ilmac, and Big K if you're a 2 or 3 tier subscriber, things like that. Tier 1 subscriber right now, it's basically you get the ad free. I found out if you're on a console, I don't think you get ad free even if you're a subscriber. Because a couple of people told me they were on a console and they get ads, and I'm like, hey, sorry, nothing to do about that. But you get you get to vote in the sub only votes, like we had the one to bring Eddie I back, get to chat and chat. And we're going to start doing, the plan is we're going to start doing like subscriber only Q&As and stuff like that as we get a little bit more time. It's just a little bit hectic right now. Things haven't actually slowed down like we thought they would, with people dropping out and stuff like that. So
Plus the changes on the fly too, right? Changes to the judging system, things are changing week to week. From west to south round
Yeah.
one, you saw huge changes, but there's still little changes week to week. And I mean, talking to people, involved in the tournament in different facets, they all talk about the different changes. And then, like the bigger ones, like you said, opponents or battlers that have to pull out for whatever reason, you got to put a replacement in. So yeah, all that together, I wouldn't imagine that it has slowed down. And let's not forget, this is the first time, right? There's no fucking blueprint to this. There's no book you can read. This is the first go. So I'd imagine it's nuts. Is there going to be any breaks? Like any weeks off?
I think there is a break coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I'm not really sure when it is, but I think there is a break coming up soon.
Okay. I figured there would
Possibly
be.
at the end of this round, just to like give everybody a breather and to let like the film crew recover, because this will be twice now they've driven pretty much a circle around America.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking to Avo and Clayton last week it was, and they seem to be having a good time. They're doing calisthenics in the middle of the desert road and all kinds of shit, trying to keep busy and not go nuts on that road trip.
Well, I mean, you've got Clayton, who's the most positive, nicest guy you could ever meet in the world. And now you've got sober Avo. So like, and he always loved to like drive and go on trips and stuff like that. So
wait,
I'm
we
sure they're
talked
just loving
we
it.
talked to Clayton briefly, but it was an Avo show. So we told Clayton we want to talk to him again if he talked to us. And he said he probably would. So tell us something we need to know about Clayton.
Clayton's just the nicest guy. You could like, there's no other describing him. He's always happy. He's always positive. He's smiling. He was in the Marine. I don't know what he was in. I don't want to quote what he was in, but he was in some sort of the military, and he just got out of it. So that's something maybe you don't know.
I didn't know that at all. I
also
barely know
did not
anything about him. You know what I mean? It's
When
like
he would come up here into Canada, and he'd be like, still have to report back to active duty. Back
holy
in the States.
shit. Really?
Not like active duty like overseas, but like active duty or whatever he was doing here on the bases.
Huh. Speaking of fucking reporting in states and Canada and thing like this, I don't think I'm out of turn by talking about this because you've talked about openly and talk back and here and there. I know you have. You could states for a while, right? And it wasn't like you did something too crazy.
Can't.
That's what I was going to ask you. So
Aww.
you still can't get down there for these events?
See, I was a bad kid. I did a bunch of bad shit. I got 9 years in jail, did some of it, got out on parole. Then I tried a couple times, and like within 2 days, tried 2 times within 3 days, and the second time they grabbed me and said, "What the fuck are you doing? We told you not to come back here the last time," and they threw me in immigration jail and took me to court, and I got officially deported for 20 years. That's
Wait. Like, who
13.
grabbed you? Like, did you make it past like the border, the airport, the whatever? Like, who's grabbing you and saying this?
Who was what?
Who's like snatching you up and being like, "Get the fuck out, bro"?
We were at the border, and you got to like show your ID and shit. So like they ran my ID, came back with, because at first I tried to go on the bus because I didn't realize they like call everybody off the bus and like fingerprint you and stuff. Like the last time I took a bus,
I didn't know
used to come on. They used to come on the bus, get everybody to show the ID, look at it, and get off the bus and let the bus go. That's like, I went to the States with my parents, and that's what they did when I was a kid. So that's what I remembered. So this time I'm on the bus trying to go across, and they're like, "No, everybody off the bus. Put all your luggage on the outside of the bus, come into this little building, you walk into this building, they like make you like look into this thingy, and it takes like an eye scan and a fingerprint scan, and
what is happening?"
They called me back to the counter, and they're like, "Mr. Daniels, do you have a criminal record?" "Yes, I do." "You're not allowed entry in here." Okay, that guy was nice. He just like let me turn around and go, and then I, for some stupid reason, 2 days later, tried to cross with my buddy at Niagara Falls, and that guy was not so nice.
Well, because he saw you just did the same shit 2 days before.
Like he and it was so stupid because my ID was from Alberta. I hadn't got it changed to Ontario yet. And the two people I was with, my buddy and his girlfriend, both had Ontario IDs. So it was like the guy looked at it, and as he was giving it back, he noticed that it was like an Alberta with two Ontario, and I was like, wait a minute, how are you guys together if he's from Alberta and Ontario? And then he like wanted to punch my name up. It said 2 days ago he was told to not come back unless he had papers. So then he just looked at me, what are you, fucking stupid? And took me around the corner and up into the little holding cell and off to immigration jail, and spent 2 weeks in there, and then went to court and was officially deported for 20 years and told if I try to come back within 20 years, I'll get 20 years.
Okay, so two things. First of all, what is the little immigration jail like? And secondly, I assume you have not tried again since then, right?
Oh, no,
Yeah, I really want to know the difference. I really want to know this because I've been to prison in Ontario.
Jails are just, to me, jails, if you mind your business, jails are just a dorm with guys.
Yeah.
Well,
you
sure,
know, like, and I was in the immigration one. It was funny because they put me in the actual dorm and I had a green bracelet on, right? So I'm in the dorm and it's bunk beds, and it's like, there's probably like 200 people in here, and it's like people from every country, right? There's Canadians, there's fucking Mexicans, there's guys from Ireland, there's guys everywhere, every country you can think of. And then in the morning, all of a sudden, I'm called to the door. Like, you know, the night goes on, I'm called to the door. He's like, Daniels. He's like, yeah. He's like, come up, step outside for a second. And I step outside, and they cut off my green bracelet, and they put a red one on. And I'm like, what's this? He's like, yeah, we just got your record back. You're going to Max.
Oh.
So then I was taken down, which I prefer, because then you're taken down to the Max wing, and you have your own cell.
Oh, shit, that's all right.
So it's like, all right, but it's 23 hours in and 1 hour out.
Yeah, that's not all right.
That's rough.
But whatever. I was only there for a week.
And then
That's a long ass week, though.
How did they send you back to Canada, wherever you were living at the time, Toronto or wherever you were living?
So they said in the morning when it was time to leave, okay, Dan's come with us. Boom, boom, because I was in Batavia, New York, wherever that is. I have no idea, but I was there. Okay. Not allowed in the United States, but they put me in jail in the States. The jail guards just drove me to the border. They drove me to the border, dropped me off to the Canadian border people, and then they looked up to see if I had any warrants. I didn't, and said, okay, have a nice day. And then it was up to me to figure out how to get back.
Wait, they just left you like standing there? Like, you're free, son, go.
Like literally at the border. They're like, hey, have a nice day.
Oh my God. That's fucking terrible.
I had on basically what I wore trying to cross the border, and no money, no nothing. I had to call my buddy. I had to get the border people to let me use the phone, call him to come pick me up. His girlfriend was at work with the car, so I had to wait 8 hours because this was like first thing in the morning that they dropped me off there, and like she had just left to go to work. Wow. So yeah, I just wandered around. I think it was Erie.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with Ontario, so I'm from Nova Scotia.
What a shitty day, or what a shitty all of that, actually.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible. It's so severe when we had him on was talking about him having some border troubles and KOTD working with them. We also talked about when Michigan had some troubles and couldn't get through. And, you know, those aren't the only two. And, you know, you being with KOTD for so long, obviously Organic and founders at the time or other company owners, whatever, they obviously don't have a problem with it. So do you guys, like, you know, obviously they work proactively getting through these situations. But from your experiences, are you kind of, do you have any say in that, or do you try to assist in that at all because you going through the actual system?
I kind of give people the advice of like what I've gone through. I could have gotten through with my record if I had taken the proper steps. Okay. I didn't. Look what happened to me. Don't be me. Mm-hmm. Like if you've got a criminal thing, be upfront with us. Tell us so we can get it dealt with. Don't just try to sneak across because it's going to end up bad for you. Like I didn't realize crossing the border, like just trying to cross the border was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I could understand if I was like trying to smuggle something, but just somebody trying to cross the border. Yeah, they take that very. It's a bad offense to them at Homeland Security at the border.
Well,
They don't
so
like
wait,
that.
like I think that we've also heard about this in MMA. We have done MMA shows and followed MMA for a long time, and same issues. I feel like from what we see, it seems like there is more trouble with people trying to get into Canada. Like Canada is like, nah, bro, much more than America is. Is that an accurate estimation from your experience?
It literally depends on the day and the guard. One guard could wave everybody through. Another guard could have had a fight with his wife that morning, be pissed off at the world, and harass everybody. Like it's just and all I've experienced is the American side, because
Sure.
I've never made it back over there where I've had to come back and deal with the Canadian side, other than being dropped off there. So, and they were not very nice.
I would not think so. Is this affected you going to any other countries?
I've never tried to go to any other country. Ever since that happened, that was 13 years ago. And before that, like I say, I was bad. I got sentenced to 9 years in prison. I did 6.5. So I haven't had, before that, I didn't really have that much time to do anything but be in jail and on parole. And I couldn't travel on parole anyway. So
kind of limited. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to this Grand Prix. Obviously, look what you do. Work for KOTD. I assume you're a fan of battle rap, so I'm assuming you have some thoughts. Yeah, sometimes. I bet sometimes you're probably just sick of it too, eh? Some nights you're probably just like, fuck this shit. I know the feeling from MMA days, but the battle so far. Thesaurus versus Disaster rematch, which is the most recent on the most recent event, round 2, West Coast. Rematch 12 years in the making. Did it live up to your standards, to the hype that you expected?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. I wish, for Pete's sake, I wish he didn't say the word fuck.
Why?
If he would have ended his third round with the word
with no reaction
or time or anything other than letting it be known that he was choking, I think he might have edged that battle.
I thought the exact same thing, because his reaction at the end, you could tell that he obviously choked. Even though he didn't choke because he called it, we knew that there was more material to come, which the judges
it's almost the same thing with Active's third.
8 bars, he said, by the way.
Well, the way Pete said it was more like 16 at the end, but either way, you could tell, like, if he would have even just turned around and, like, freestyled a lot, you know what I mean? Like, just so somebody couldn't tell. And that's what killed it. And I think same thing with Active. Like, Active kind of stumbled at the end of his third and then called time. And it wasn't as clean as he needed to be.
Yeah.
Because I thought Active and Saint was 1-1 going into the third as well.
I thought that battle was really good. Really, really good. Who did you think won that? Did you agree with the decision in Active and Saint?
I honestly, like I've told you before, I honestly don't think there's been a robbery in this tournament yet.
Mm-hmm.
The only decision I haven't agreed with on first watch was I thought Frack might have edged Diggs. I didn't think Frack got robbed. I thought Frack might have edged him, but that's just on first watch and the first reaction of the second round. I think he definitely got the second round. I think Diz got the first, and it comes down to the third. And it's a preference on the third. That's just how I seen it.
I just thought it was sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
That?
I was going to say, you spoiled sons of bitches get to rewatch these battles, don't you? I just thought about that, you motherfuckers. Okay, so I guess talking to you, you've actually got to watch that battle more than once. So yeah, you can provide more insight than seeing it first go. Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean, Dizwood definitely wasn't the cleanest and wasn't the best Diz, and I honestly think that battle could go either way depending on your preference. Some people like Diz's style. It's a style preference, right? Some people really like his style. I think he did beat Thesaurus. I think if Pete didn't screw up, it would have been really, really hard for the judges.
Even without the screw, as soon as it was over, I was like, Krill and I were watching the battles together, and he said, "Who do you think won?" I said, "I'm pretty sure Diz got it." Not like, smoked him. I'm pretty sure Diz got it.
I think definitely. I think some of these decisions too, when it comes out to be like 4 judges voted for one person, I think it's a lot closer than what that represents, because when you look at it, all those 4 judges are usually saying, "Yo, it was so close, I just edged it to this person."
Yeah.
So they all have the same preference, even though it looks like, 4, well, the judges are all biased. But if you listen to them, they're all like, "Yo, this was so close, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're all Dizzy's friends.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody that keeps saying that about the judges, like, we have 4 completely new judges for the West, right? And 2 of these judges people loved in other divisions.
Yeah.
Every decision that the fans agree with, they're amazing judges. But as soon as the fans and the judges don't agree with it, oh yeah, King of the Dot's rigging it, man. Oh, and somebody's praying. Oh yeah, that's because this person's in that group and that.
King of the Dot's afraid of
it's just
disaster.
maybe somebody has different preference than you do.
Yeah, or the other narrative people. Sorry, Krill, go ahead.
What do you think about disaster going over twice? If the points were taken up the source for choking or ending or running the round short, what about disaster going over twice?
Well, if you would have,
you know what I mean?
6 seconds actually took a point away from him for time.
Yep.
I don't know if the other ones did. They didn't mention it or anything like that. It's not actually a listed thing on the judge cards. So the choking is and the stumbling, blah, blah, blah. But like I say, 6 seconds took it into his hands and said, "Yo, I'm taking a point away because that wasn't fair." So, I mean, it's up to a referee in the MMA fight to take the point away, right? It's up to his discretion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can get hit with a low blow and get a point taken away or a warning. So kind of up to the judges, I would have to say.
Well, wait, but there's a difference between Herb Dean and Mario Yamasaki here, right? Let's not get crazy.
Yamasaki will let you fucking die.
Very true, but like I'm saying, that's the thing, though. There's a difference between all the judges, too. Some might care, some might not.
Yep.
And it's things that are going to be being addressed going forward, like had Ice going overtime and talked to Ice about it. Lush and Diz talked about him after this one. It's just things like this are bound to happen. Like as soon as somebody sees somebody else do it, I'm going to try it too. And then until we handle that, and move on to the next thing that's going to pop up.
And people trying to push the narrative that KOTD is trying to force Diz versus Sharon to happen. That is the most ridiculous fucking shit ever. You guys could just throw a separate event and have that fucking headline it, for Christ's sakes.
Easily.
What's that? Go ahead.
Does Sharon not have the hardest road to get to the finals? What's Sharon's weakness usually? Street guys on King of the Dot.
Mm. Yeah, and he had
everyone calls him the smack killer because he goes over there and does good. But on King of the Dot, he's got like Shoddy P. Then he's got a focused Marv 1.
Yeah.
Then he's going to either have an amazing Excel or Head Ice.
Head Ice, yep.
Right.
Who's got a harder road to get to the fight to try to get to Diz other than Sharon?
No shit. And then Diz himself had Frack first. Okay, sure, he's the favorite in that, but then he lines up with Thesaurus. 2 fucking giants. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the judges are
and now
paid off.
And he'll have the winner of Cloner High. Hayes. I'm trying to put them both together. Yeah, that's what happens when you change them. I just combine them.
Yeah,
Hiya, boy.
If the clone that shows up, if clone can get past Hayes, and the clone that shows up against Carter shows up against Diz, that's going to be an incredible battle. And the only reason I say that, it's not because I find inconsistencies in clones' work. It's because I'm not as familiar with them. That's why I say that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that as in sometimes he flops or doesn't show up for the event. Didn't he just battle this past weekend?
I think he might have had 2 battles, to be honest.
Or 2, yeah,
He's
two battles.
on a tear right now. He's focused with his mind on it. And I mean, if he's doing what he did with Carter in 3 days, then power to him. Kill everybody. Get more hungry.
Yeah, no shit. What a way to put your name on the fucking map in KOTD, eh? If he gets through this tournament, has performances like that all the way through, and then wins the 50K and takes out a big name in the end, that's pretty crazy. Well, I mean, Carter's a big enough name, but everybody right away is going to say, "Oh, Carter only had 3 days." Well, so did Clone, and now we got Severe chasing Eddie I on short notice. At least it's not as short a notice. It's 7-8 days out. Those have been the only 2 replacements so far, right? Carter and for Oops.
Well, yeah, they would have had 7 days exactly because they both found out live on Sunday.
Yes, that's right. I guess they found out when we found out.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, people were bitching about is, why don't they want Frack back in it? I'm assuming because Frack doesn't want to be in it.
Yeah, Frack was. Frack was the first person asked.
Yeah, I figured.
Frack was asked. Real Deal was asked. There was a bunch of people asked that just couldn't commit to it, or just didn't want to do it. Like Frack got an album dropping. He didn't want to have to commit to a battle in a week's notice. He wants to promote his album.
What have been some of your favorite battles during this Grand Prix so far? Through round 1, and we just spoke about round 2, but through round 1.
Joey and City.
Yeah.
Joey and City, Excel and Eddie I, Times and Real Deal. I've liked a lot of people's performances.
Me too.
It's actually been I've liked almost every battle. There's been some battles that were but if somebody in that battle showed up, I'm not going to name them, but at least one person in the battle showed up and put on a great performance. And we're getting to see a lot of people are getting to see people for the first time, like you're saying, like with Clone and a lot of the South guys. And it's continuing with the undercards. And that's what I'm happy about, is especially guys like Times. Like, I've been a Times fan. He's never been booked for the main page, but he's had 3 ground zero battles that have been amazing and have made the main page. So he's had his original ground zero battle he had, and they had 3 more ground zero battles booked after that. All 3 of them made the main page because they were that good.
Holy shit. I did not know that.
So he's never actually been booked for the main page, but he's made it 3 times.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I like too that in these tournaments, just like in the past, in the earlier Grand Prix tournaments, battle rap wasn't as big, and it's like they were pretty much all heavy hitters, so you kind of knew them. And there's a lot of guys from came from Grind Time to KOTD. But with this, and where battle rap's so big, there's even more like a Times, like a Clone, where you're not seeing as much of them. Even a guy like Show Off. I've seen him battle a few times, but not a ton, and I know exactly who the fuck he is. But I'm. It's not even like I hate other battle rap leagues. I tune into them like fucking. Say KOTD is my UFC, right? That's where all the stars are for me. That's what I watch the most of, and I check out URL battles here and there, or Premier League battles here and there, or from wherever around the world, right? But like Show Off, even someone like that was fucking awesome, and I probably wouldn't have paid as much attention to Show Off versus Bonnie if it was on a regular 8 battle card. And you know what I mean? It was somewhere in there. Yep. I'd probably be, smoking weed at that time, having a bit of a conversation, half-ass paying attention to it. But where it's the tournament, there's bigger stakes on the line, and the way the matchups are working out, I was locked on that fucking battle. And Show Off had a great performance, and it's made me go watch other Show Off battles. So you're going to see that ripple effect for everyone in the tournament, I would assume.
Yeah, and what I'm finding too is this is getting more people on Twitch, the tournament, because it's free. Maybe I'm pretty positive because it's free, so it's got more people talking too. Like I say, Times made the main channel 3 times with GZ battles, but no one heard of them. So that means no one checked out those battles that dropped on our YouTube with almost 1 million subscribers.
No shit. Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but he has 1 battle on Twitch, and he's got the whole battle rap media, everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
So that in itself is already paying off more for the artists on YouTube or on Twitch than it ever did on YouTube.
And what's the crossover like with it being a gaming platform? Is there a good crossover of fans there, you think, between video games and battle rap? I would assume yes.
I think so. Like we know, like the Phase House watches. We've got people like Soldier Boy's a Twitch streamer now, and when I check the stats, I can see that his channel's watched 2% of our stuff
Oh
so
wow.
far, and things like that. So it's like you get to find out who's all into it. I was actually I jumped in as King of the Dot on Max Holloway's stream. He was playing COD and asked me
yeah?
if he wanted to play with the battlers, and he told me yeah.
Aw,
And he's
little
like, whisper
Max.
to me. And then I whispered to him, and he never responded. But so we're at that stage where he's like, "Yeah, whisper me. I'll let's hook it up." And I did, and he didn't respond. So now I'm in the awkward stage. Do I go bother him again, or?
Isn't that the worst?
Aw.
But yo,
You know what?
Max
Max is the
like, I
nicest
love
kid
Max.
in the fucking world, though. Like, he will get back to you. I promise you.
That's
Like,
Young Stitch, man.
dude.
Him and Young Stitch could be twins. Every time he fights, I hit up Travis. I'm like, bro, Young Stitch is fighting.
You see that new video Cheddar and Young Stitch dropped?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the link for it.
Yeah, I watched it, and as soon as Stitch came up in it, I was like, fuck, that's a young Max Holloway. That's the first fucking thing that popped in my head. Yeah, man, he even has that little wiry mustache.
Yeah, man, I've been calling Max Holloway Young Stitch for years now.
That's fucking hilarious.
If I can find it, Troy, I have to send you one of the shows I did with Max back in the day, where he could not figure out how to explain to us how to pronounce Hawaiian things. And it's the funniest shit. He's literally like the funniest, nicest kid you will ever hope to meet.
I love Max because he reps Toronto hard. He loves the Raptors. The Raptors are his favorite basketball team. And he always reps Toronto.
He's a good fighter, too. He's hella fun to watch. He's one of my favorites. Fucking, I know. Yeah, you fancy yourself a bit of an MMA fan,
so
too.
Who do you guys have this weekend? Who do you have this weekend? All
Khabib.
Three of you.
Khabib. I can't go against Khabib.
You can't, yeah. Right, that.
And what about the Russian? Who does the Russian pick? What happened to this guy? Did he drop off?
The Russian died. All right. Nobody can pick against Khabib, just like you cannot pick against the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, well, you could. Who do you have, Troy?
I think Khabib, just because, man, those Dagestanian wrestlers are something different. And I don't know what it is. They're just, I smash you, and that's what they do. Like that new dude, that Chesnad or whatever his name is, man. I love him.
Chimiev.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Kirill, you're gonna hop in there? Smash you.
I'm just saying it has to happen. He has to keep beat Geechee because the GSP thing has to happen. I'm waiting for that.
GSP versus Khabib. I don't think we'll ever see it, but it would be cool.
Yeah, you're gonna wait until you die on that one, I think.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, from what everything I've read, isn't it supposed to be Khabib's next fight after Justin?
That's what people are saying. I don't have any faith in it. Amy and I covered the sport for a long time, so we don't believe a fucking thing until we see it.
Yeah, especially with GSP. I mean, GSP is one of those, like, one of the GOATs, in my opinion, but like also a marketing tool, right? So you've got like Connor fucking around and retiring and unretiring. You've got John going, "Oh, fuck them, I'm out." Ronda's been out for a minute. Like, all these other people aren't these big ticket items. Who are you going to pull from the fucking yesteryear? GSP.
Yeah, no shit. And see, Anderson Silva's last fight's coming up against Uriah Hall. I don't know if that's wise for old man Anderson. He might get fucking dead.
He hasn't looked that good in his last couple.
No, God, no, for years down. I loved Anderson for the longest time, but I don't know if he should be fighting Uriah Hall at this stage in his life. That's not going to be good.
Like they say, once you get knocked out once, it's never the same.
No, definitely not. And friggin' his bones are falling apart and shit. That thing happened with Weidman. And then like 2 fights ago, or maybe even his last fight, when he fought Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier kicked him in the fucking leg, and he fell out on the ground rolling around. The fight was over. I mean, if you can't get kicked in the leg, and it's not like it broke in half like the Weidman fight, you probably shouldn't be in there with fucking guys who kick real hard like Uriah Hall. Troy, did you see this weekend the fight starts at 2 in the afternoon?
I literally just seen that today. I was like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, Krill pointed out to me last night, and I was like, fuck. Guess that means afternoon drinking. Son of a bitch.
Oh, Jesus.
We won't be doing a show Saturday night. Oh, shit. Who else is up
That
this
kind of
week?
cuts into the face-offs that start at 5:30.
So you got to run two
Is
things.
it the
and
main card at 2?
main card at 2?
So it'll probably be done 4 hours, 3.5, maybe.
What
Depends
time
on
the
how quick the
face-offs?
fights are.
5:30?
5:30.
5:30? Yeah, it'll be
3.5
fuck that.
hours.
Khabib might be
Be
fighting.
like main event time.
Yeah, no shit. That'd be rough. You have to put the fights on mute and listen to the battlers.
Thank God I have a dual monitor.
That's we're set up 2 TVs. And John Jones gone to heavyweight. What do you think about that?
I just find it weird that he goes to heavyweight when DC retires.
I
Yeah,
mean,
He
you
can
know.
bully DC anytime he wants. So
Like,
I think
you know what I mean? Like, why did you wait till DC retired or got beat for his last fight, retired, and then give up your belt and decide you're going to go to heavyweight? Like, DC wanted you at heavyweight before he retired.
Fuck it, yeah. Or 5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. And no, light. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Bones Jones fan.
I knew I liked you.
I love him. He's fucking reckless. He's out of control. It's amazing.
I don't like hockey
but what
either,
about his
though.
fights?
You don't like what? Hockey?
I don't like hockey either, though.
What kind of
You
wait?
don't
you're-
like hockey. Holy shit,
Jason,
Amy, we
shut
found
the
a second
fuck up.
Canadian that
Here
doesn't
we
like
go.
hockey.
I knew it.
I've
What
been labeled as
See,
the only Canadian that
I
likes hockey.
used to live in, I grew up in Edmonton. So when I was probably like 8, 9, 10 was during the Gretzky Curry era when we won like 5 cups in 6 years. So I
Yeah.
got to like celebrate and blah, blah, blah. Once I moved from Edmonton, what other teams are good? Like I can't go from celebrating the Stanley Cup to being a Maple Leafs fan. Sorry. You guys haven't realized what I've done 5 times in the last like 99 years or something. So
Wait,
it's
are
just like,
you a sports guy otherwise outside of MMA and hockey or not hockey?
I'm a Raptor. I like the Raptors. I like basketball. I like football. I'm a Broncos fan, but
But what?
not too integrated.
What do you mean a Broncos? Why?
I was a huge Peyton Manning fan. I followed Peyton Manning. I was a Colts fan and followed him from Indianapolis to Denver, and I just never left Denver.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It hasn't been going the greatest. Hey, I think we're going to be good in about 3 years because we have a lot of rookies that have a lot of potential, but we just got to stay healthy. This year, right now, we've had, at one point in the season, 2 weeks ago, we had 18 people injured on our team out of 53. Kind of hard to.
I'm
field a
not
team
hating.
with that
I'm
many.
not hating. I'm a Dolphins fan, which means I've been suicidal for like almost 20 years.
Hey man, I don't understand why they're not starting Fitzmagic anymore. They're putting 2 in. Fitz has been doing great. Like
I'm just saying, when Peyton was a new thing on the block, I had a heavy disdain for him right then and there, and I've never grown out of it. Also, the Broncos are just kind of like one of those teams that is like, hey, oh my God, you guys still exist. Okay, cool.
Hey, now we had like the best team in 2015.
Okay.
Won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying because of Peyton, but we had the best team because our defense couldn't be beat in 2015. That's when we had the no-fly zone.
I mean, I'm just putting this out there. If we're talking defense that has literally negative effect on Peyton.
Krill's so confused right now. He's like, football, soccer, man, you.
That's okay. In 3 years, there's going to be a new Manning in the league, and he's probably better than Eli and Peyton put together. He's Peyton and Eli's nephew, Arch Manning.
Stop
He's
it!
in high
Really?
school right now, and he's the other brother's son, and he's named after the grandfather. And
Is he in Tennessee or where's he at?
He's somewhere in high school. I forget where it was, but they literally just first time they played this high school, they put him on ESPN. He's so good. Like he just had a high school game on ESPN, and I think he threw like 6 touchdowns in that game. This kid is just amazing. His name's Arch Manning. He's got highlights on YouTube. If you're into football, look him up. This kid's going to be, I think 2023 is when he's going to be NFL eligible.
Oh, shit.
Let's see.
Oh, Amy's on the hunt. Last time I watched a football game, Jim Kelly was losing Super Bowls.
Oh, I can't stand you. Oh.
No, I watched a little bit past that. I used to, like when I was in high school and shit, I liked and played every sport. I thought for some reason hockey was fun.
Yeah,
Played football and shit. I liked the 49ers because I just like, oh, it's Montana and Rice. And then it was Young and Rice. And I was like, hey, they look good. But that's about the end of it. Around the time Deion Sanders was making rap videos is around the time I got into football.
I'm dead.
I'm a big F1 fan too, so that shows like my age. I'm an old man. I like my Formula One racing.
No, you're not old.
So I got to get up at 7 o'clock on Sunday mornings just to watch racing.
Oh shit!
Yay!
You're one of those.
No.
Are you like a car enthusiast too, or just into the racing?
Nah, I just like the F1 racing. It's crazy. And there was a reality show on Netflix. They've had 2 seasons of it now. And it basically takes you inside like what goes on in F1 racing, and it's just crazy. You would think like in a racing team, your teammate is like your teammate, right? But no, in F1 racing, your teammate is your biggest opponent because he's got the exact same car as you. So he's trying to beat you on the track. There's more teammate crashes in F1 than there is other people crashing.
What the fuck?
So wait,
because you're both racing for points, right? You're both racing for individual points.
Okay.
And you both have the exact same car. If you're teammates, because you're on the same team. So your car is exactly equal to your teammates, but you want to get more points than him. You want to win the championship. You don't want your teammate to win it. You want to be the guy that comes in first, right? It's an individual sport. It's crazy. And these cars, and you in an F1 car, you experience like 5G going around corners.
That's crazy.
So they've got to work out their necks and stuff to make sure they're able to like handle this. So it's actually like a strenuous sport, and it's crazy to see these cars go from 300 kilometers an hour down to 30 in a blink of an eye to go around a corner.
So question / comment. Are you a Lewis Hamilton fan? Because obviously everybody is, but like to what degree?
He's not my favorite driver, but I do love Lewis Hamilton, and I love the stand that he's been taking this year with F1. He's the one that's been forcing the issue with the end racism and the Black Lives Matter and wearing the Breonna Taylor t-shirt on the podium and stuff like that. He's the one that got all the drivers organized to take a knee at the beginning of each race and shit. So, like, I respect him for that. I kind of, because he's so good, though, I actually hope against him every race.
Right.
My favorite driver is actually his teammate, Valerie Bottas.
Well, no, the reason I asked is because have you ever watched any of the David Letterman Netflix, like My Next Guest Needs No Introduction shows?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm assuming then you've seen the Lewis one.
I haven't, but didn't even know there was one, but I know what I'm doing when I get off the phone.
Fun fact, there is a Lewis one. They filmed it in New York. I was there in the audience. And I got to be honest with you. There was this like overwhelming in the audience sense of disappointment because there was a lot going on right then. And Michelle Obama was in town promoting her book. And there was just like, I don't remember like when it was filmed now. It was like a year and a half ago. But like there was a lot of shit going on. So like he was not the, people were like Kanye, Michelle. So when he came out, there was this like overwhelming sense of disappointment that it wasn't like a Michelle, a Kanye, a Madonna, a Cher, whoever, Brock or whatever, whoever, right? And I was the same. Like I don't follow F1, frankly. And so I was like, oh, who's this mother? And I can't even leave. God damn it. I got to tell you, dude, that was the best like 90 minutes to sit and watch. Like he was so fun. His parents were there. hearing the stories and his childhood and what they sacrificed and how he came up. Like by the time I left, I was like, I should watch a race. He's so
North Americans, because there's not any American teams in it. There is now. Somebody just bought one. And until recently, there wasn't any Canadian teams in it. There's somebody just bought one, so we have a Racing Point. There's a team over there. But other than that, all the teams are Germany, France, Italy. So it's not really that big over here in North America. But if you anywhere outside of North America, it's one of the biggest things. Same as soccer, or football over there.
Right. Yep.
Right. It's huge for the rest of the world. North America, nobody gives a shit.
No.
Well, let's not get crazy, but okay.
Well, I mean, some people do. Like, I love it. I watch Premier League. I watched I got into it because I started playing FIFA early, and that got me interested in watching actual soccer. So there is an advantage to playing video games and getting interested in sports.
I actually played soccer, but are you a Man U fan?
Man City.
Thank you for not being the one of everybody who just is watching once a week, once a month, once a fucking year and going, Man U.
Yeah, no, and especially I really got into Man City because there's Amazon Prime All or Nothing featuring Man City, and like the Amazon Prime's All or Nothing is they basically follow sports clubs around for a full year. So there's a bunch of football ones, and then they stopped doing NFL and moved over to doing soccer ones. So I started watching it, and the first one was Man City. Got me hooked right after that.
Did they, you know what? I actually don't remember. I've never watched that, but like I feel like I knew that existed because was one of the early teams that they did that with Miami.
Yeah.
I should watch that.
And
all right.
I also like Man City because Shotty Horror's involved with them a lot. He was like their actual official hype voice. He did like a commercial and shit for them.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
But they played at the stadium and shit when the players come out.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, Shotty's a huge Man City fan.
He's made big moves off battle rap. You know what I mean? So some people parlay battle rap into so many other opportunities, and he is one of the guys that did it the best. Him, Sharon. I mean, there's others too, but yeah, Shotty definitely stands out.
Yeah, man. I mean, so he did the movie. Did you guys ever see Versus?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
It's just BS. Yeah, I love that movie. Shotty
yeah, that's
great
a good movie. Do you like it better than Bodied?
I actually do. I think it had a better story. I think I don't know if the acting of everybody was quite on par in Versus compared to Body, but I do think Versus had a better story laid down than Body did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Body was
I think it played out more.
Mm-hmm. Body was cool as shit though, eh? Seeing that come together and everybody on camera, because Sharon, it's so funny. I was doing Rear Naked Choke Radio still at the time, and I had Sharon on talk about MMA stuff, and at the end, he's like, the news wasn't supposed to be released yet, but Pat Stay has mentioned it. So I got news for you. Sharon announces the news, and I'm like plugging it everyone on social media, and nobody gives a fuck. And a few months go by, and then everyone's talking about it, and I was like, son of a bitch. But yeah, it was so cool because I mean, from the time Sharon told me to the time it came out was well over a year. And seeing, you know, especially for you, you're friends with a lot of guys in there, right? I'm just fans of them.
Yeah, like I'm talking to Organic while he's on set and shit like that. And it was like, when's it coming out, bro? But it's crazy because like that was the same as like earlier, even before Body, when he was in detention. Him and Dumbfounded were in detention, and I'm talking to Gannick. He's like, guess where I'm at? I'm like, why? No, I'm just chilling at Dane
Cook.
What's his name?
Dane Cook?
Dane Cook, yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of his name for a minute. He's like, yeah, I'm chilling at Dane Cook's house, going over lines.
What? Fuck? That's
and
nuts.
It's like, apparently Holohan had a battle where he had a line, something about you're a comedian like Dame Cook. So like Organic was showing Dame Cook the fucking battle with him in it and shit.
Oh, that's awesome. It's crazy how many celebrities, like rappers for sure, but just people even outside of actual like industry rappers that are fans of battle rap, whether they, you know, they're Sorry, go ahead.
That's how Organic got the role in Detention. It was specifically for him and Dumbfounded. Joseph Kahn was a fan of King of the Dot and Battle Rap.
Yeah,
so he wrote the parts in Detention specifically for Organic and Dumbfounded.
Yeah.
We gotta get Dumbfounded on. We can get Organic for sure, but we need to get Dumbfounded. That's
yeah, I didn't find that out till Joseph was on the Breakfast Club talking about Bodied, because I wondered, like, I always wondered how the fuck did Dumbfounded and Organic end up in that movie, and especially at that time, Organic's following was nowhere near as big as it is now. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's so strange. But yeah, when Joseph was on Breakfast Club talking about it, I was like, now it makes sense.
I like Detention way better than Bodied. I mean, I like Bodied because of what it represented, and all my friends are in it, and things like that. But it was okay. Could have been a couple parts changed here and there that could have been more realistic. But
what would you have changed?
I don't think Disaster would have battled the guy for screwing his girlfriend. Don't think that's a realistic thing that would have happened.
Wait, you don't think Diz would have, or you don't think that character would have? Because Diz would definitely have.
I don't think anybody ever would have. Okay, let's go battle. The only battle we're having is with fists.
Yeah, or that machine gun Megaton had over his shoulder.
But and I think I would have ended it before, like, I can't even remember how it ended now. I'm sitting here trying to explain I would have ended it before. And I can't remember how it ended.
Like holding up his hand, like, oh, he won. I mean, that was the main ending.
Yeah, and then
I think I would have ended it before that. I think I would have ended it before the rematch.
Yeah.
There was some point where I just felt it went like maybe 10 minutes too long.
Mm. And there was they did the 2-on-2 that was like a surprise 2-on-2. I was like, yeah, that would never go down this smooth in real fucking life.
But it would be dope. Wait, on a side note, non-bodied, Troy, if you could pick your dream 2-on-2, who would it be? And would it be regular or would it be compliment?
See, I wouldn't pick 2-on-2s. I hate them.
Really?
To be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like 2-on-2s. Although, I gotta say, the Loso A-Ward B-Dot Geechee battle is fucking amazing.
That's a very good battle, 2-on-2.
I mean, to be honest, that would be my dream 2-on-2. It already happened. I don't really like them. So when one happens that I really like, it's like, wow, okay, that's great. Because I've seen it. We had a Grand Prix of 2-on-2s that started with a pre-Grand, like to qualify for the Grand Prix. I was even part of it.
Competing?
I have a shitty.
Part of what?
We don't talk about that.
Whoa.
You just talked about it.
I have a battle with Mr. Mumbles against Psycho and Young Stitch, where I got bodied for 3 rounds because I cannot battle rap. But see, to be fair, the reason I wanted to battle was because at the time I was judging a lot of battles. So I said to myself, I can't really judge these guys on what they do if I don't at least try it. At the time, I thought I was a rapper. That probably shouldn't have been a thought in my head because I really sucked. I even have a solo battle that I think I took down because I can. That I choked all 3 rounds.
Wait, look, nobody's expecting you to be a battle rapper, right? But aside from what you took down because you can, because you suck, is there something that lives somewhere on the internet? Because I need to see some shit.
Possibly. I'm not going to tell you where to look, but I mean,
dude,
I did tell you my opponents and who my tag team partner was.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm not going to add you after this and completely crawl all the way up your ass.
It was a Grand Prix qualifier for the 2-on-2 Grand Prix that we did.
Okay. Well, we need to find this, Amy. You need to do some mining when we're done this show.
Dude, you got the right girl anyway.
Okay. Any Grand Prix news that you need to let out? If you want to let us know who you guys already predicted as the winner or paid, how you're setting up Diz and Sharon and fucking the fans over, or any of that kind of news.
According to the fans, it's going to be Diz and Sharon in the finals. Sharon's going to actually win, but the judges will give it to Diz. And King of the Dot will just continue on.
I can't.
Diz is going to become the world grand champion, and
And Sharon's gonna go make JCPenney commercials.
Yeah,
Well,
that was quite the story.
some type of commercials, sneakers, whatever they were.
Yeah, whatever whatever he wants to do, really. Yeah, and that's the one thing I want to touch on before we get out of here. There's like a title or a championship of some sort, a person like the winner gets of this. Now, does that have anything to do with Real Deal's title? Does that lock them in for a spot against Real Deal? Because a lot of people are talking the confusion about the world champion for the Grand Prix.
The world champion. It's
Confusion?
not boxing. Come
Yeah.
on.
I haven't even seen
Cool.
anything about it fucking like out there. except
Time
for
will tell.
Okay, so this motherfucker's not going to tell us. That's supposed to be confusing. I get it.
No, time will tell.
I get it. All right, this has been fun. This has been a fucking blast. We need to do this again. I was telling Amy before we got you on. It's like I've been fucking reaching out to Troy here and there since the Rear Naked Choke radio days. I stopped doing Rear Naked Choke radio in 2017, for fuck's sakes, and I finally, got you on, and I'm glad we did. It's been a ton of fun, so we should do it again.
I'll come back whenever. Just hit me up.
Nice.
You got my number now. It's probably easier to text me because Facebook Messenger, I'm barely ever on there. Like I use Facebook to promote King of the Dot. If anybody noticed before the Grand Prix was going on, you didn't see me post and talk back. Like there was just that's what I used my Facebook for King of the Dot. So when there was no King of the Dot, I basically wasn't on there. Now I'm on there a bit more, but it's just. It gets too much. You get asked the same question a million times, and it's just I can't answer it, and I don't want to be a smart ass, an asshole to people, which I normally am.
No, you do want to be.
So I kind of do, but so I just stay away. It's easier that way.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get in trouble. Can't get in trouble.
Exactly.
Well, wait, are you a big social media? I mean, like we all see you online here and there. Like personally, if you're just like sitting at home, you got 10 minutes. Are you scrolling through Instagram, looking at Twitter, like not actively participating, just watching, or are you just like, nah, bro?
No, I'm either like trying to watch something or play a video game. I'm not a big social media person. I'll scroll through Twitter and stuff, and I mean, I might read it to see like what's trending, what the fake news is, and then what the real news is, and kind of compare it that way of like what's being up there. But that's about it. Instagram, I'm barely on. I have no time for Instagram. I don't want to look at pictures.
No shit. I feel the exact same way. I tell Amy all the fucking time.
Man, I knew you were gonna.
And we have a Building Downtown Instagram account, right? At the Building DT.
Which is,
and I'm responsible for it, and it's fucking pitiful.
No,
I think it's like 9 shows behind or something. I fucking hate it. I can't stand it. There's like 4 pictures of me on Facebook. You think I'm gonna hop on Instagram, start taking selfies? No way.
Look, you're turning that
I'm
shit over.
also not a phone person. I'm not like Gannick and Rigo and everybody I know lives with their phones in their hand. They're always like, that's how they're on Facebook. That's how they're on Twitter. That's how they're on Instagram. I do everything from my desktop. I'm a computer person. I hate laptops. I hate using my phone. I use my desktop for everything. Instagram, you can't even post pictures from a desktop. So Instagram's useless.
I didn't know that.
You can browse, you can comment, but you can't upload pictures from a computer.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
So you're approximately 97 years old, correct?
Pretty much.
Yes, Troy and I are the same age, Amy. 90,000.
I have my dial phone sitting in the corner.
He's tapping on fucking 3 a million times to get to the letter he wants. It's cool.
Like you got all these new millennials are all happy with this, like, hey Google, turn out my light and shit. We had that back in the day, but all we had to do was clap.
Yeah, the clap on.
Exactly. Like this ain't nothing new.
And have any of you ever known anyone that's had that thing?
Yes.
For real?
I did.
Really?
My parents had it.
Wow, yeah, I've never met anyone that even knows anyone that ever had that. Did it work?
Yes.
It did, but it didn't last too long because I was an asshole, and I like always clap. So the lights would be going on and off, and my parents just got like, "This got to go."
This fucking child. This fucking child.
And, it was like I got punished or something like that and sent to my room. I just clap really loud to make the lights keep going on and off, on and off, on and off, and on and off.
Okay,
I
well,
was an asshole.
if you're not a dick, it was convenient.
That's fucking awesome. All
Like
right,
even now we have the Wi-Fi lights, and sometimes when the wife goes in the kitchen, I'll start playing with it and changing the colors and pressing on and off.
Holy shit, the child inside you just doesn't die, eh?
No, can never.
that's good.
I'm old enough to know better, but still young enough to do it.
That's the fucking way to live. Hey, sometimes I still press all the buttons in the elevator before I get off.
Your elevator is the fucking devil, but anyway.
I know. Okay, well, clap on, clap off. This has been fun. We're going to do this again sooner than later. For Troy Daniels,
like a
a.k.a. King Fly, for Kirill Kasatskiy, for Amy Barton, this is The Building Downtown. I'm Jay Kelly. We out. Peace.
Building downtown. Building downtown. Building downtown. Building